What's going on, Saints fans? The New Orleans Saints are about $83.7 million over the cap, and that's per over the cap. So for today's video, I'm going to break down who could be a cap casualty. I got 5 surprise players that I think you guys may or may not like to see, and just a public service announcement. I feel like I got to cover my steps here real quick. This is a list of players who could save the Saints a lot of money, or they're just not a good fit. This doesn't mean, this is not me advocating and not me endorsing the Saints getting rid of these players. This is just me saying I think that this could make some sense. And with that, let's dive into it. I hope I don't end up getting flamed in the comment section. But we do have offseason coverage, and it's only ramping up from here on out. I encourage you to subscribe right now so you can lock us in and you don't miss a thing. Turn on your notifications as well and set them to all. That way you are notified anytime we have a post, a video, a short, or we go live, because we break down news, updates, draft coverage, free agency. We do live stuff. Do not miss out on it. It's only getting better. So cut candidate number 1, no surprise here, Payton Turner. Here's the thing. He just hasn't worked out. He's also not an expensive player. I mean, at just $3.96 million at 2024, he has a cap savings at $2.37 million pre-June 1. It's the same if you cut him post-June 1. So no, you're not going to save a ton of money here, but we flashed the production. Let's go back to it. Look at what he's done. In 2023, 2022, and 2021 combined, this guy has 29 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and 26 pressures. That's just 15 games. So if you saw that production from a defensive lineman, you would sit here and be like, wow, that's pretty good for a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick. Here's the thing. Payton Turner was a 1st round pick. That is absolutely unacceptable. That kind of production is horrendous. Do we have to go down memory lane and remember who the Saints drafted and or who they passed on to take Payton Turner? I don't want to have to revisit that. So he's a bust in my book. He can't stay healthy. The production isn't good, even when he's on the field. Man, it's nothing against the guy. It's a business. And at the end of the day, the Saints got to clear some money, and they got to get rid of dead weight. And I just think that Payton Turner, unfortunately, is just that. Let's get into Marcus Maye, cut candidate number 2. His cap hit this season is $9.65 million. The cap savings, if you cut him before June 1st, is only $1.19 million. But if you designate him as a post-June 1 cut, he saves you $7.24 million. So why I think the Saints could move on from Marcus Maye? Well, feels like he got his replacement already. In the time that Marcus Maye was dealing with suspension and he wasn't healthy, Jordan Howden filled in really, really well. Better PFF coverage grade, better overall PFF grade, more pass breakups, more tackles, less interceptions, and Howden had a much larger sample size. He played much more snaps. He played at over 100 more snaps in total over Marcus Maye. So Howden is a great pick. I think that he could be a really nice piece to this Saints defense, and I think that he's doing a really good job allowing Tyrann Mathieu to be a leader and to help him develop and continue to grow as a safety in this league. So pick one of these 2 guys for me. If you had to just get one of them, type MM for Marcus Maye, type JH for Jordan Howden. For me, I'm going Jordan Howden all day. I think he is a great football player, and I think he's going to be a great guy that's rocking a fleur-de-lis on his helmet for quite a while. I also think a great deal is over at PrizePicks. So if you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and you plug in promo code CLNS, you get a first deposit match up to $100. Now, all this information is in the comment section or description of this video, so if I'm just blabbering at you and you didn't really understand what I'm saying, just check it out, click the link, and find out for yourself. But it's daily fantasy sports made easy. You just pick 2 to 6 players, and you choose more or less based on their projected stats. So for the Super Bowl, they have this unbelievable deal, man. Patrick Mahomes, half a passing yard. Dude, Taylor Swift could pass for half a passing yard. I'd still take the more on that. Not really. But here's the thing. I'm slamming that. Isaiah Pacheco, dude's a bowling ball. He's going to find the end zone. He's an absolute gamer. I think he's going to find the end zone at least once. Brock Purdy, he is impressive in my book. I think he is a great quarterback. and I believe in him to throw for at least 248.5 yards. So I'm putting some money down, and I'm going to win some real-time money, and you can do the same if you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, plug in that promo code CLNS, get an $100 deposit match. All that information in the comment section description of this video because I love y'all. All right, here's where the people are going to start bringing out their pitchforks and coming at my neck, and here's the thing. I'm ready for it. Michael Thomas. He's expensive, man. $12.4 million cap hit. If you cut him pre-June 1, you actually lose about $8 million. And if you cut him after June 1, you only save $1.21 million. So it's like a really unfortunate thing, and that's per over the cap. That's what the money. That's how the things look or check out for there. So if you guys don't believe me, go look at Over the Cap's websites, look at his contract and how the things shake out. Man, what used to be such a good player, and this isn't me saying he stinks now. This isn't me saying I hate Michael Thomas. It's actually me saying the exact opposite. I love him. I think he's a great football player. Sure, there's been some drama and there's been some unfortunate things that have happened throughout his tenure here in New Orleans, but the production just, he can't stay on the field. It was all right when he did play this year. The connection between him and Derek Carr wasn't what either of them thought it was going to be. It wasn't what any fans or any coaches thought it was going to be. It was actually very, very underwhelming. And my thing on it is, guys, like, I feel like a lot of Saints fans, me included, I'm not here to say I'm at fault for this too. The 2019 season, I think a lot of us look back on that and are just like, man, he's still that guy. He's still that player. That season will never be forgotten. That season will go down in history as one of the best single-season receiver performances of all time. And Drew Brees was a huge, huge aspect of that. Michael Thomas, obviously a huge aspect of that. But it's time to turn the page, guys. It's time to stop trying to replicate 2019 where Michael Thomas was tearing it up and Drew Brees was throwing him the ball. You don't have a Drew Brees as a quarterback anymore. Michael Thomas, I don't think he's the same guy he used to be. And not to mention, he went off on social media. I mean, he flamed Derek Carr. He flamed the Saints organization. This isn't the first time this season alone that he's done this. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I put a video out about this, and I have actually linked in the comment section description of this video. So I encourage you to go check it out. If this is the thumbnail for it. It feels like the damage is done, and they're at the point of no return, where even if they were able to mend some things, it just doesn't feel like he's coming back. And at the end of the day, I don't think it's the right move for the Saints. So be honest for me. What would you do with Michael Thomas? Would you try and keep him, or would you cut him? Just give me a K for keep, a C for cut. I know it's a hard conversation. I know it's not a popular idea for Saints fans, but we got to be honest and we got to be realistic. It's a business at the end of the day, and this is just part of, getting under the cap and figuring out the cap space. So next cut candidate, I don't like it either, but here's my thing. For any of the for any of these people or fans or people in the comment section or people on social media that are like, you can't trade away these guys. You can't cut these players. You can't lose these high-end, high-quality guys. Well, here's the thing. A lot of people are also saying, we got to tank. We got to blow it up. We got to reset. We got to just blow it all up and rebuild. This is what that entails. It's cutting players like Ryan Ramczyk, who are expensive but good players. It's the same thing. Ryan Ramczyk, $27 million. That's a big cap hit. If you cut him before June 1st, you lose a lot, $5 million. It's not what you want to do. But if you cut him post-June 1, you save $17 million. So, again, I go back to, if you guys want to clear up money, if you guys want to clear up cap space, these are the things that have to happen. You have to look at players like Ryan Ramczyk, who is aging, who are injured, and who are expensive. And Ryan Ramczyk's a good player. 2023 at a 73.5 overall PFF grade, 67.3 run blocking grade, and a 73.6 pass blocking grade. I would rather try and trade a guy like Ramczyk, but I don't know if a team is going to offer you a ton of draft compensation for an injured and expensive guy like Ramczyk. Again, that's not me taking away from what he can do. That's just me saying I don't see that being the reality of this, excuse me. And the other thing is this draft class is loaded in the trenches. Look at Mel Kiper's big board. for the offensive line. These are the top 10 guys, according to Mel Kiper, in this year's draft class. Joe Alt would love that pick. That is a home run pick if the Saints can get him. Olu Fashanu, Talise Fuaga, J.C. Latham, all high-end guys that have a high upside. Amarius Mims, Tyler Guyton, Jordan Morgan, Kingsley Sumadia, and Patrick Paul, Blake Fisher as well. These are all guys that I could see the Saints targeting and possibly going and getting in the draft to replace an offensive lineman or to add depth and to bring in cheap, young talent that is healthy and ready to go for the long term. All right. I understand it. I know you guys are going to see this and absolutely hate me. Just do not shoot the messenger on me. I just want to say that. Do not shoot the messenger. In 2024, Alvin Kamara, he's my fifth cap cut candidate. $18.76 million. That's a lot of money, guys. If you cut him before June 1, you don't save a lot, less than $2 million. But if you cut him after June 1, you name him a post-June 1 designation, save close to $12 million, $11.5 million about. And the stats for Kamara, like, this year it was a down year, man. It wasn't the same. His rushing production wasn't as good. His receiving production wasn't as good. It's just, like, I love Kamara. I think he still has some juice in the tank. I love the player, and I think that he is a great player. I want to make that explicitly clear. And in the live chat, I see a lot of people saying, no, Trace, you're an idiot. But here's the thing. You do have to understand the Saints have to make some tough decisions. They have to cut some money. They have to clear some money somewhere. And, of course, you can restructure contracts. You can move things around. But this is just me, again, saying you could save a lot of money by cutting him. I'm not advocating for cutting Alvin Kamara. I just think that it could make some sense, and you could have an argument for it in terms of the financials. Plus, not to mention, you have Kendre Miller, who, in a limited sample size, he was injured, he was hurt. I understand that, but he was good. He was really, really good. He was phenomenal against the Falcons in Week 18. And his stats, rushing and receiving, they're impressive, guys. Like, I think that he could be the future of this Saints running back room because, let's call it a spade here. Alvin Kamara is not going to be on the team for the next 20 years. That's just not going to happen. But Kendre Miller could be a good successor for Kamara. Again, I don't want the Saints to cut him. I just could see them justifying that kind of move to save that money. And $11.6 million is a lot of money. So you tell me, do you think that Kendre Miller at some point could take over as running back one? Just give me a Y for yes or an N for no, not yet. He's just not ready. I'm curious what you guys think. I personally believe he's not ready yet. But I could see him beginning, or year two, taking a massive step in being a guy who could eventually take over as running back one. All right, here are my 5 cut candidates, and you can see down below, that's the total cap savings I have right here. So this may not be the popular move here, but I went with cutting Michael Thomas as a pre-June 1 designation. Just eat the $8 million because if you cut Alvin Kamara and designate him as a post-June 1, and you cut Ryan Ramczyk and designate him as a post-June 1, that's a lot of money in just these two guys you're saving. Then you also, these guys, pre-June 1 designations for a total of $24.2 million of the $83 million. That's a lot of cap space cleared up right there. So, again, a lot of other ways the Saints could go about this, but this is just the route that I thought could make some sense. Again, I'm not advocating for this, but I do think that moves like that this could make some sense for the Saints if they wanted to clear some cap space and try and gradually reset. As always, Saints fans, thanks for watching. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.